We are here at Chodol Field for the 2016 annual Cherry and White Spring Game. We have all your big plays, who showed out, and much more coming up. OwlSports Update starts right now.
Hello, and welcome to this edition of OwlSports Update. I'm Adrian Sullivan alongside my co-host, Jacqueline Jones. We've got action from men's and women's tennis as well as women's lacrosse looking for that first conference win.
But first, the spring game took place this weekend, which means Temple football is back on the gridiron for all to see. After 14 grueling spring practices, the football team took the field on Saturday for the annual Cherry and White game. This is Coach Matt Rhule's last chance to see his crew this spring before training camp over the summer. Matt Rhule posing for a photo with the wife and son of the late Peter Chodol. Mr. Chodol's contribution to Temple athletics was significant for decades. The spring game has its own list of rules, a reminder on the scoreboard for all in attendance. Early on, sophomore running back Jagger Gardner rumbles in for a 5-yard touchdown. He's got the moves like Jagger. Later on, P.J. Walker rolls out and finds sophomore receiver Adonis Jennings, who puts the wiggles on the defense before scoring a 13-yard touchdown.
Pass complete to number 88, Adonis Jennings.
Then Walker dumps it off to Gardner, who takes the screen pass all the way to pay dirt. White holds on to win the scrimmage 35-25.
They realize, there's good players on the team. So they better be ready. And I think hopefully they see that we play, we have fun. We get after each other, but we have fun, and that's why they hopefully chose to come here.
It was a competitive game, and we got the loser got UConn drill on Monday. That's 10, 20 plate pushes across this field. Nobody want to be doing that. So I told Coach Rhule, let me get another series because I think we needed to score again just to, solidify the win. So we went out there and competed.
P.J. Walker had a 3-touchdown performance with 2 of the passes being caught by redshirt junior wide receiver Keith Kirkwood. Kirkwood also had 92 receiving yards on the day. Jagger Gardner led the Owls rushing attack with 5 yards per carry. Junior wide receiver Marshall Ellick received the Offensive Most Improved Player Award, while redshirt senior defensive back Nate Hairston won Defensive Most Improved.
Saturday afternoon, the lacrosse team was looking to get its first conference win over Vanderbilt. But it was not your typical game, no. April showers. Instead, there were April snow showers for this home game. Taking it to Giese Field, where women's lacrosse took on Vanderbilt last Saturday. Senior midfielder Nicole Tiernan causing all types of havoc. Then she would go on to give Temple a 4-goal lead early in the second period. This would be the only goal of the second half. Vanderbilt then tried to battle back, but Temple's goalkeeper, Jackie Kekalechik, was not having it. The Owls do not give up any goals in the second half. Temple would go on to defeat Vanderbilt 7-3, getting its first Big East win. The good news was short-lived. Since the Vandy game, the Owls have dropped 2 more conference games. First to UConn, 9-8 in overtime, and then on the road against Marquette. The Owls were up at the half 8-5 in this one, but ended up blowing the lead, losing 12-10. They will play at Villanova this Wednesday. Nova is struggling at 3-12.
We have to go to break, but there's more lacrosse action coming up as we look ahead to a big week for the Owls with 2 conference games.
Also, we'll see if any men's basketball players took home some hardware from the Big 5 Awards banquet after the break. Monday night was the banquet for the Big 5 Awards. Regardless of an early exit in the NCAA tournament, Temple basketball still brought home some hardware. Quinn DeCozy received first-team All-Big 5 honors, and Jalen Bond was selected to the second team. Quinn DeCozy has also accepted an invitation to play at the Portsmouth Invitational, an event for the best 64 college seniors in the country.
Back to lacrosse. Despite their 2 losses to UConn and Marquette, there is still time for the Owls to separate themselves from the rest of the pack in the Big East. The Owls are looking to improve from last year's 3-5 conference record. The women's lacrosse team appears to be peaking at just the right time. The Owls have won 9 of their last 11, but these last 2 games might have been their 2 best of the season. 2 weeks ago, the Owls fell just 1 goal short of upsetting the second-ranked Florida Gators in Gainesville, but Temple bounced back with the win over Vanderbilt this past Saturday for their first conference victory.
As we get into conferences, I think it's just going to be a lot of on attack, figuring out timing of plays. I think as we get towards the end of the season, games are going to start coming down to like 1 or 2 goals, just like we saw with Florida. So definitely working on details and timing of plays.
The Owls are looking to build upon a solid start to their season, but head coach Bonnie Rosen knows it will take a good amount of practice in order for this squad to fully spread their wings.
Well, certainly this team has demonstrated their ability to come out to practice every single day, work hard, be focused, and get better. And that is how you get good. And that is pretty unique. I think it's the maturity in the team, the leadership in our team that's allowing us to do that. And then I think, as I said, when it comes to game day, our prep is going really well.
With just 5 games left before the Big East tournament, Coach Rosen is confident in her squad because they are not only participants, but also students of the game.
Our players take studying a film very seriously. They talk about the games and then prepare. So this is a team that is just doing their homework on the field in practice and off the field on their own.
3 of Temple's 5 remaining games are at home. That includes this Wednesday's matchup, but this one is at Villanova. Break time. Coming up, we'll catch up with men's tennis senior Nicholas Paulus, who is climbing up the Owls record books.
But first, his team puts its home unbeaten streak on the line against Fairleigh Dickinson. OwlSports Update will be right back. Welcome back. The men's golf team placed 12th in the 15-team Princeton Invitational this past Sunday. Standout All-American Brandon Matthews had his worst finish in his 4-year career at Temple, coming in at 59th overall. Freshman Trey Wren led the Owls, finishing 20th. Freshman San Soth also exceeded expectations, coming in at 29th. The Owls next compete at the American Athletic Conference Championship May 1st to May 3rd in Florida. We head to the tennis courts as the Owls face the Fairleigh Dickinson Knights. The Owls looked very strong in double sets as senior Santiago Canet hit the forehand winner. Canet and his partner Artem Kapchuk won 6-4. Hacham Belkser was also dominant in his singles match, proving to be too much for his opponent. Nick Paulus also notched off the 68th win of his career. The Owls would go on to complete an undefeated season at home on Senior Day, winning 7-0. After defeating Coppin State University's sophomore Gabriel Franca, Nicholas Paulus continued his climb up the record books, totaling 66 all-time singles wins as an Owl. OwlSports Update's Christian Riley caught up with Paulus to talk about his consistency throughout his career.
It was a special day for the seniors of the Temple men's tennis team as they were honored on Senior Day. But for Germany native Nicholas Paulus, it was even better. In his last match, Paulus picked up his 67th career singles win as an Owl, which is second all-time in school history.
I mean, of course you try to win as much as possible, as many matches as possible, but I never thought of having any record here.
Not every win has been easy for Paulus, as he is known for falling behind and battling back. For those who have watched him for 4 years, they admire his never-quit attitude.
I always use him as an example because I know that he truly believes when he loses the first set or loses a game that he can come back. So, I always tell the other guys, use Nick as an example.
Nick is a really hard worker and he always fights every match, and I think he motivates everyone too, because when you see someone that tries hard, you also try harder.
There's no question that Paulus is proud of his individual accomplishments, but his main focus is about the team's success moving forward.
And now it comes to the end of the season, and that's the most important part of the season. And I think going to the conference tournament, first of all, we have Drexel on Wednesday, which is a really huge match.
Paulus has no chance of surpassing the Temple all-time record of 75 career singles wins, but he would gladly trade the record for an American Athletic Conference championship. Reporting for OwlSports Update, I'm Christian Riley.
Senior Day action from women's tennis on Sunday. Temple honoring its lone senior, Manami Okajima, as they take on Fairleigh Dickinson. Temple sweeps in doubles as Okajima and her partner Alina Abdurakhimova win 6-1 in the third flight. Strong play from sophomore Yana Khan in doubles as well. Later on, Khan with the ace in the second flight of singles play. Temple goes on to defeat Fairleigh Dickinson 6-1. The Owls have now won 5 straight matches. Well, that's all the time we have for you today on OwlSports Update. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter for more on all things Temple sports.
Tune in next semester as we get into coverage of the 2016 football season. On behalf of Jacqueline Jones, I'm Adrian Sullivan. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and go Owls.